This is your host, LA from LA Show. And of course, we're going to get into topics in the black community. Plus, we're going to have black talent and business promotions. So please like, share, and comment your thoughts. Also, subscribe to the channel for more stories in our community. Thanks.
It's Lexi.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to LA Show. Tonight we're going to discuss some things that's going on in the community, break some things down. Thank you guys so much for showing love, subscribing to the channel, commenting, let me know how you feel, and also following me on Instagram at LA Show _, where a lot of things are being put out there on that page. So I really do appreciate you guys. Tonight we are going to talk about the new series on Netflix called When They See Us. But first, I want to send my love, my prayer, and my condolences out to the victims and the families and the whole community in Virginia Beach. We already know what took place, and it was another mass shooting that happened, and we just need to send our love and condolences out to that area. Just crazy how this world is going, and we're not safe anywhere, and we've already figured that out a long time ago. But let's get into this series on Netflix. I'm not going to talk about it long because I only watched, I think, 2 episodes. But I will go into a brief backstory. Right now I'm on Newsweek, which they did an article last week on this situation. So let me just read the backstory really quick, and then we can get into the actual documentary or docuseries. On the night of April 19th, 1989, 28-year-old banker Trisha Meili was on a jog in Manhattan Central Park wearing headphones during her daily exercise. Meili wasn't able to hear 2 men approaching her from before and subsequently hitting her over the head with a tree branch. Knocked unconscious, the 28-year-old was dragged, raped, beaten, and left for dead. Hours later, 2 individuals found Meili tied up with her own shirt with severe lacerations. The attack left her with a fractured skull, and she lost nearly 80% of her blood. Wow. That's terrible. Taken to the Metropolitan Hospital, doctors suspected Meili wouldn't survive, or if she did, the young woman would live the remainder of her life in a vegetative state. However, after 12 days in a coma, Meili awoke, but with zero memory of the attack. Despite discrepancies in the timeline and no DNA evidence, Antron McCrae, Kevin Richardson, Yusuf Salam, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise, the young men who would soon become known as the Central Park Five, were suspected and charged with the heinous attack. Meili's identity was kept under wraps, known simply as the Central Park Jogger. She testified twice throughout the 1990 trial. The 5 teenagers were found guilty and sentenced to 10 to 15 years to prison. In 2002, over 10 years after the trial, inmate Matthias Reyes came forward claiming he was the one who orchestrated the attack. His confession was confirmed by DNA evidence. The 5 men who had been convicted of the rape had their convictions vacated despite having spent as many as a dozen years in prison. They sued the city in 2003, and in 2014, a full quarter century after the original attack, they received $41 million for their wrongful convictions. While the focus of the Central Park 5 story has often focused, with good reason, on the trial, the ensuing appeals and exonerations of the young men wrongly convicted of the crime, the victim has also tried to make sure her own story was known. Meili published a memoir in 2003, I Am the Central Park Jogger, A Story of Hope and Possibility. Currently, the now 58-year-old works with survivors of sexual assaults at Mount Sinai Hospital and Gaylord Hospital, according to Refinery 29 report. And this is a quote from Maylee. I do wish the case hadn't been settled in January. This is what she is allegedly saying. I wish that it had gone to court because there is a lot of information that's now being released that I'm seeing for the first time. I support the work of law enforcement and prosecutors. They treated me with such dignity and respect. Maylee has not regained her memory of the brutal attack and has remained skeptical of Reyes' claim that he attacked alone. Wow. So let me see when this was put out. So this was put out today. I apologize because this documentary, I do believe, was released last night on Netflix. So the documentary, first of all, let me say it was very, very well put together and directed by Ava DuVernay. Very beautiful woman, very eloquent the way she spoke on the situation to, I think, I forgot who she was talking to. However, she did a really, really good job. And like I said, I only watched the first 2 episodes. But the first episode really broke down who these boys were, where they came from, how their family structure was. And then it immediately goes into the night of the attack and what the boys were in the park doing. It's very funny how only 2 of the boys in the situation out of the 5, only 2 of the boys knew each other from personal dealings with each other. So everybody else were pretty much strangers. And when we get into the second episode, that's when we see the interrogation process and what those boys went through. They were all 16 years or younger, and they were all questioned without their parents' consent. And most of them, their parents didn't even know that they were at the precinct. This is something that probably has happened a lot over the years and nobody has really shed light on it. But I really, really like how Ava was able to capture that good cop, bad cop type of scenario and make it a lot more realistic than what the average thought is from TV, because they were going through a lot in that interrogation room, and they were kids. So of course they're sitting there trying to lead these children on with these leading questions and telling these children where they were and what they were doing, and the whole time, the kids were just, pretty much agreeing with them after a certain point because they were there for hours. Some of them for hours. And it really did break my heart when I saw that scene where Yusuf's mom came in and she was the only mother that, I'm not going to say had common sense, but she had the knowledge to know that this was not right. This was not a good practice that the police were using for her child. So she was able to terminate the whole interrogation within itself. And I do believe she worked out something and took her son home, where the police came back later on, picked him up, and then they booked him on the charges of the rape and whatnot. I'm going to do a part 2 on this, but I just really wanted to come in and let you guys know that this is a really, really good docuseries that they put out on Netflix. It also shows where President Trump paid $85,000 in ads calling for the death penalty for these young men, which, he has yet to make a public apology, but I guess we will have to wait and see because the documentary has came out and they definitely put him in there all on the TVs talking about how atrocious this crime was. But then again, the police department that I'm pretty sure he paid thousands or millions to, they were the ones who were doing the faulty police work. So it's just really, really interesting. And then, in the documentary where they were in the courtroom. It pretty much shows the prosecutor telling the defense attorney for one of the boys that this is not about justice or being fair. This is about politics. And so that really kind of made me sit back and be like, yeah, this is all about politics. This is all about money. And just privilege. A lot of privilege. Those boys didn't stand a chance. And we're going to go into the next 2 episodes. I can't wait to watch it. And like I said, it's very well put together. I wish they could extend this documentary or docuseries out, you know, so that we'll never forget this. I mean, I just want to keep watching this. I'll probably watch it over again tonight from the beginning and just watch it all the way through so that I can get the next 2 episodes and get that video out there to you. But, you know, like I said, awesome. I definitely highly suggest it. Go ahead and look into it and do your research on the Central Park 5, because this is a very, very historic case for our community. Like I said, the fact that we have brothers that are trying to be exonerated now by Kim Kardashian, you know, this is a very serious thing. So go watch it, go check it out, and let's give a hand clap to Miss Ava DuVernay, who is the director of this wonderful, wonderful docuseries. I will be back with some more stuff, and I'm going to try to turn it up this week. Let me know if you like the content. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. And also follow me on Instagram at LAShow_, Young LA on Facebook, and Twitter is at LAShow_ as well. Like I said, we'll have a lot more things that we're discussing this week, so please stay tuned.